very beautiful morning to you once again. Welcome and thank you for joining us on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. It's exactly 32 minutes gone past 6 a.m. today, the 7th day in the month of May 2025. And it's time for Perspectives Unlimited. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies. And so we delve into the national dailies alongside with our analysts in the studio and a bit to keep you abreast about happenings. This morning is not going to be any different. So you can watch us live on Facebook this morning at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. And also we're live on YouTube at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. At Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Drop your comments as we go on the show this morning. Let's take a look at the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, above the masthead, banks borrowing, from CBN dropped 97% to 380 billion naira. That's on page 19. Insecurity, Nigerians will revolt if action not taken. That's coming from the House of Representatives. It has 4 riders. Question 19.7 trillion naira spent on security. Akpabio tasks senators on legislative action. Boko Haram returning stronger. That's coming from Rep. Jaha. Presidency, NSA, NUM. And all of this you can find on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Article to BOT women, I'm not leaving PDP. And that's on page 8. Sule Lamido defense zoning says it's a cure, not curse. That's on page 9. VDM not told why he's being detained. That's coming from the council. It has a rider, though granted bail, still in custody. That can be found on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Benue Assembly, DS NAS, says its leadership won't honor invitation. That can be found on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning as well. Now moving on to the Guardian newspaper. How insecurity, middlemen drive up rice prices, force meal shutdowns. That can be found on page 6 with a pictorial image of the challenges in Nigeria's rice value chain. UN worries over dwindling donor funding as 4.6 million face severe hunger in Northeast. That can be found on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Boko Haram now deadlier, uses weaponized drones, says Borno reps. And to check more on that story, check out page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Defections. Delta federal state lawmakers switch allegiance to APC as Tinubu meets Oborevori. And that it's on page 6. Why poverty is worsening in Nigeria by Obi. And that can be found on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Over 75% of Lagos food supply from other states, says Lagos State government, and that's on page 7. FMCG firms ride on Naira stability, grow profits by 100%. That's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. Lawyers storm NAS, demand takeover of Benue, Zamfara assemblies. To check more on that story, check out page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Senate constitutes committee to oversee Rivers' sole administrator. That's on page 29. Senate grieves over Uromi Gombe killings, set for security summit amid consent. That story can be found on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And those are the stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Now let's check out the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Above the masthead, CSOs seek explanation on 6 billion naira police uniform contract, files FOI request. And it has a rider to petition ICPC over alleged 234 billion naira police funds. That's on page 16. Still on page 16, 2 million children malnourished in Nigeria, second highest worldwide. That's coming from UNICEF. Still on the same page 16, 10 years after, family, others to celebrate on Nishijuade. The lead story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning reads, Senate proposes National Summit on Insecurity. And it has 3 riders. Mulls law on hunting to nip repeat of Romi. 16. Set up 19-man committee to oversee emergency rule in Rivers. Reps to Pali Senate to restore democratic order. And that's coming from the Speaker. And the story can be found on pages 3 and 13 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Tinubu meets Oborevwori, other APC governors amid defections, realignment. And that's on page 10. We will not honor Rep's invitation. That's coming from Benue Assembly. And the story can be found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. DSS removes Larry Arogundade's name from its watch list. That's on page 10. More CEOs worried about inflation, skills gap. That's coming from the PwC report, and it's on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 6 Delta PDP reps join APC, and it has 3 riders. 2 Enugu Labour Party reps move to PDP. Delta Assembly Speaker, 21 others defect to APC. Edo Assembly Speaker, others dump PDP for APC, and that's on page 4. Nigeria First policy, long-awaited relief to manufacturers. And that's coming from MAN, and it has a rider that says policy will boost nation's GDP by 56%, reduce unemployment by 37%. And that story can be found on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, insecurity, Nigeria is bleeding. That's coming from Akpabio, and that story is on page 38 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 1 million children at risk of malnutrition in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and that's on page 32. Uromi killings, 40 days after, families demand justice for slain hunters, and that's on page 29 of the Daily Trust newspaper. The lead story reads how import waivers are crippling local rice mills, and that can be found on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. 6 killed in fresh plateau attack, that's on page 6. On page 12, leadership tussle, 11 weeks after, Osun local governments remain shut. Benue lawmakers reject National Assembly summons, threaten legal action. And that's on page 13 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Kano government directs local government areas to release 670 million naira for Emir Sanusi's cars. And that's on page 5. And finally, the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Defections. Okowa denies 500 billion naira refund claim as Oborevwori visits Tinubu. That's on page 28. The lead story reads, rising insecurity. NAS ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. And it has a rider, Senate moves to tackle killings as retired military chiefs. Reps lament insurgents' use of sophisticated arms. And that can be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Senate may pass tax bills today. Panel to oversee IBAs. And that can be found on pages 7 and 28 of the Punch newspaper. Jakpa, UK considers tighter visa rules for Nigerians, Pakistanis. And that's on page 16. Federal government kicks as Pat Utomi forms shadow government. And that's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And those are the stories across some of our front pages this morning. Joining me on the conversation this morning is our in-house analyst, Chukwuemeka Munachiso. Good morning, Chukwuemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
All right. Let us begin with the story on the front page of the Punch newspaper. It's also a story that is on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, only, written with a different headline. And here we have rising insecurity. NAS, ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. And it has, a rider, Senate moves to tackle killings as retired military chiefs. Reps lament insurgents' use of sophisticated arms. Retired military generals have again called on the federal government to urgently equip the Nigerian armed forces amid growing concern over the resurgence of terrorist attacks and killings in the northeast. This comes as the House of Representatives on Tuesday expressed deep concern over a recent deadly attack on a military facility in Giwa, Borno State, describing the incident as a glaring indicator that Boko Haram insurgents are better armed than the military. During Tuesday's plenary, the lawmakers lamented the gradual return of the terrorist group and the loss of lives in recent times in Borno and neighboring Yobe states. Though budgetary allocations to the defense and security sectors have steadily increased, there have been complaints and questions about the quality and volume of arms available to the troops. In 2023, the federal government earmarked 2.98 trillion naira for defense and security. This rose to 3.25 trillion naira in 2025 budget, and for 2024 budget, and for 2025, President Bola Tinubu proposed a record 4.91 trillion naira out of the 49.7 trillion naira national budget aimed at enhancing the operational effectiveness of security agencies. Despite these substantial investments, Nigeria continues to grapple with deep-rooted security deep-rooted security challenges, including insurgency and banditry. And the defense headquarters did not respond to the assertion by the House that the troops are ill-equipped when they were contacted by the Punch newspaper. Now, Vanguard newspaper on its part, has the reps, speaking out to say that Nigerians will revolt if action is not taken. And so the House of Representatives yesterday warned of citizens' revolt if the federal government failed to address insecurity in the country, which has been on the upswing in the last few weeks. And this came on a day that Senate President Godswill Akpabio told his colleagues that the insecurity and perilous state of the nation's economy are stretching the patience and resilience of Nigerians to the limit, and asked them to respond with legislative actions. So lawmakers from areas ravaged by insurgency and killings by herdsmen in the country, who led the debate on the issue at plenary, also accused the presidency of not doing enough to resolve the insecurity problem in the country, despite the over 19.7 trillion naira spent on security. So the debate was sparked by a motion of urgent public importance that was moved by Ahmed Satomi on the recent fire at the armory at Giwa Barracks and the escalating attacks on military formations in Borno and Yobe State. We have been talking about insecurity. Week in, week out, there's always something. In fact, even on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, it says that 6 people were killed in fresh plateau attack. Now that it feels like everybody's picking up, retired military heads are speaking up, the reps is picking up, the Senate is picking up, are we going to eventually get some actions that would help us with the issue of insecurity in Nigeria? Because truly, it feels like Nigerians are so stretched on the issue of insecurity, just as the Senate president said.
Let me tell you something, Tolu. When you appoint a man to oversee the security situation in the country and he comes up with an excuse that they are dealing with 15-year-old security issues, what do you expect from that man? He has really admitted that he has nothing to offer. Look, Tolu, Nigeria will not see the end of insecurity as far as it has become an industry, as far as it has become a cesspool for corruption, a conduit pipe for people to enrich themselves at the expense of the country. You are reading about trillions spent by this administration. I want you to look back at the humongous amount of money spent by Buhari administration as well. Where did it land us? We are still having problem of insecurity because the country has been weakened by corruption. You throw money into a project, you don't oversee it. You keep on spending money on insecurity, and yet the non-state actors are getting more sophisticated in their onslaught against the country. Then there is need for you to begin to ask hard questions. We will never get to the root of this thing as far as the needful has not been done. By calling for accountability, the money we have spent so far, now we are talking of obsolete equipment in the hand of our soldiers. Those money that we are as hearing about, what happened to them? Matawale came up at the beginning of this administration to ask for 5 armored personnel carriers. Is it 5 or 50 to be given to him? To do what? It's all about cash. It's not about securing the country. It's all about more money. Now the money we have spent so far, the soldiers are still complaining that they don't have anything to fight with, and that even the insurgents have more sophisticated weapons. Where are they getting the sophisticated weapons from? Who is bankrolling them? Why is insurgency Look, Abacha told us something. You may write Abacha off, but he made a statement. He said any insurgency or any problem that lasts more than 24 hours, that he said government is involved. There are a lot of stakeholders in insecurity in Nigeria, and they will not allow this business to die because it has become a business. Government will keep on throwing money into it and nothing is done because they know that the moment this thing comes to an end, they will no longer smile to the banks. So we are not yet ready to tackle insecurity. And I pray this administration, they inherited it, but that is why they came to power. There's no excuses for failure because you knew from the onset that you are coming to deal with a monster that has been facing this country. There's no need for Nuhu Ribadu to come and tell us that they inherited 15-year-old insurgency. And so what? Then why are you in that position? You are there to make a change. You are not there to offer excuses. Before you know it now, some people will be telling us that the cabal around Tinubu will not allow him to work. It's a fallacy. You know what you are coming to do. If the kitchen is too hot for you, get out of the kitchen. So the most important thing is that Nigerians need to be secured, and we are not yet secured. Cry our beloved country. I don't see an end to this. It is still more money. It is still more. Look, what you'll be hearing in the days to come, more money, We need more money, more money,
So
more
these
money.
security summits that the National
Forget
Assembly is
about the
proposing
security.
would
We have
not...
had several summits on insecurity. It's not going to provide, as far as you lack the will to do the needful by looking into how much have we spent, what did they buy and what didn't they buy. Forget about it. This summit do you know how much they're going to spend on this summit? At the end of the day, people are dying. Summit for what? Don't you know what to do? And we keep on talking about state police. Don't they know that state police will add to is one of the ways to solve this problem? Don't they know? They know, but they will not allow it to happen because those that I said it that we are under neo-colonialism. They won't allow state police because they know that the moment state police comes in, some states will have a very strong police system that you dare not enter into their territory and mess up with them. So they won't allow that. It's a joke. We know what we are doing. We don't want to do it. Forget about summit on security. It's just another jamboree. At the end of the day, you begin to have white paper and all manner of papers they were and communicate. Forget about those things. They know what to do. It is just about money, more money. And people are dying. The worst of all is that their people are not dying. It is the common people that are dying. Nigerians are distracted on all fronts. And I'm afraid that the day a goat will turn back to bite, it will bite everybody.
Yeah, that's the
That's
reason
the problem.
the National Assembly
That
is
is
trying
even
to
the
take
danger.
action now.
That's the danger because goats don't bite. But the day they will begin to bite, they will chew up everything. And look, these people don't even know that they are even endangering their own lives by keeping people down for too long with a lot of problems. The day they will wake up is going to be a problem. So for summit or no summit, they know what to do. Forget about summit. Do you know how many millions that will be spent on this summit? At the end of the day, they will come up with a green paper, white paper on security. They will quote all manner of things. Memorandum, you hear of communique. At the end of the day, people are dying. Communique, will it bring people back? No. They know what to do. It's not that they don't know what to do. But the will to do it, they will not do it. They are so obsessed, fixated on 2027. That's it. So nothing like governance again. 2027. People are recamping. People are it's just a joke. How long will they continue to deceive Nigerians? Summit on what? How many summits are we going to hold? And people are dying. Nigerians are losing their lives, and there is a government in power. What kind of nonsense is that? Can people be dying in a civilized country and leaders are talking about all these things? They will not. They will go after those killing Nigerians. Any Nigerian that is dead, something dies in all of us if we don't know. Something dies in all of us, whether we are in the place of theater of operation or not. Something dies in every Nigerian. And people will wander in here and be slaughtering people. And yet we keep quiet. And yet we have a government. Let the selective efficiency. Look at the way they arrested people that came for cyber something protest. We had Air Force all over. They are doing surveillance. Why can't they use the same vehemence to go to where the theater of operation and apprehend all these boys? Why can't they do that? If they don't know what to do, they know what to do. They don't want. But do you know the danger? They don't know that at the end of the day, the state may absolve you, but God Almighty will hold you responsible. Yes, because you offered yourself to be a leader. How far have you led the people? Are they rejoicing? Or under your watch, are they being killed like flies? And you say you are holding a summit. Which summit? After this summit, what will happen? The same story. The same carnage going on in the country that is not at war. Are we at war? Officially, we are not. But yet, people are losing their lives every day. We can't be in the Southwest here and be saying that, no. If you go to where these things are happening, I have a friend in Zamfara. He tells me the whole thing that is going on in Zamfara. And he's an Hausa boy. He tells me everything. That these people don't sleep again. And yet they have a government. What is it? What has Nigerians are battling with hunger, poverty, everything, and yet insecurity is even taking a toll on all of us. And yet we are talking of summit. Which summit?
All right, it's time for you to join the conversation this morning by calling the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0916 893 2000. 0916 893 2000. You can also call 0915 333 4893. 0915 333 4893. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Sulaiman Sharif calling from
Welcome to the show, Sulaiman Sharif. We can barely hear you.
Regarding the issue of insecurity,
Yes.
my question is, the ex-generals who stole the armed funds, what is the government doing about them? Where are those Tucano jet ammunition bought during the ex-president Muhammadu Buhari? I think that time is APC government that was there till now. Despite the budgetary allocation to the defense and security sector has increased, but we are yet to feel the impact, and no country succeeds except without without security. So it is time for Mr. President, who is one of the Grand Commander of Armed Forces, to do something meaningful in that security. Because we don't have any environment, don't expect investors in that particular region. So Mr. President will do the needful. Because what Mr. President is thinking now is to the same election, which is very wrong. That's my own submission.
All right, thank you so much, Sulaiman Cherry from Onwara. 0916-893-1000. You can also drop your comments on Facebook this morning at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good morning.
Yes, my name is Matthias, calling from.
Calling from where?
From Mojo.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Concerning the security, I don't know why the federal government is playing games. The company will be investing money on security and nothing good to be coming up. It has become a business for them. If they want to deal with security, if government fights insecurity for 24 hours, there will be a very big difference than what they are doing with us. I pray God's report. That is my comment.
All right, thank you so much. We have another call. Hello.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Ruth calling from Malacca.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, as regards insecurity, it's high time all hands should be on deck, because the rate at which insecurity has detonated in the country is quite alarming. And we all know security is local. So if the central security outfit can't stop this menace, why can't the government use local security to tackle this menace of insecurity? Because we all know that they are the ones that can know the hideout of these criminal elements. So, and as such, are we all the House of Assembly too? So please pass a bill in banning open grazing or anti-grazing, because before people start taking us into their hands, because our government, they should please do the needful on time. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost our call. Do well to call back. On Facebook, we're live. You can drop your comments at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Adionke from Muslim.
Welcome to the show, Adionke.
On the issue of insecurity, just take a look at it. When the Nigerian army are now calling to tackle insecurity, ex-general was kidnapped by untrained bandits. And you think our military are well trained to curtail terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. So we are blessed with many army generals, but they don't have a war experience. So all what I see is that state police is the only solution to the problem of solving insecurity. Because just take a look at it. Someone from Kano, if they brought him down here to Oyo State, how will we be able to know the nooks and crannies of Oyo State, the likes of Ojaba, Bere, Uje, the likes of all those parts? So, but if they are put state police, the police that are in a particular state, so they'll be able to know the nooks and crannies and be able to fish out the people that are terrorizing the state. I remember an incident that happened at Lagos Ibadan Expressway. They weren't kidnappers, they are kidnapping people. So just take a look at how the Oyo State government, Ogun State collaborate together, and they fish out the kidnappers and they were arrested. So which is a good one. So state police is the solution to insecurity. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your take this morning. On Facebook, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, and also on YouTube, Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Hello.
Hello, West Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, for there.
Good morning, sir.
I asked the question last week. I said, don't we have timetable for politicking and talking about managing the affairs of the problems we are facing in Nigeria? We cannot combine these two things together because they will fall back on the area that pays them better. And it is true that they have turned this into politics and other business for themselves. Please, let the federal government decide when are we supposed to be politicking. If we know them, once they declare that it is now time for you to do politics, then they should start doing politics. But for now, this is how they are going to be killing people up and down because they are not concentrating on the issue of insecurity. And the people who are actually coming to fight and kill people, they are not Nigerians. Don't we have border that people can guide and make sure that these people will not enter into Nigeria? We are being killed, and people are just talking about 2027. What do you put there that you want to go and take? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your take this morning. It's your Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903-936-8185. Call Toby on 0803-509-3394. Yomi on 0706-616-5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, welcome back. It's your Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Now let's get back to the Punch newspaper again, where we have the story: Federal government kicks as Pat Utomi forms shadow government. Prominent economist and political activist Professor Pat Utomi has inaugurated a shadow government composed of members from various opposition parties. According to Utomi, the Big Tent Coalition shadow government, launched virtually on Monday evening, will function as a credible opposition force, highlighting the failures of the Bola Tinubu administration while offering ideas for better governance. But in a swift reaction, the federal government kicked against the move, describing it as an aberration in a federal system of government. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said that at a time when our nation is set to celebrate 26 years of unbroken presidential democracy, the idea of a so-called, in his words, because this is a quote from what he said, shadow government is an aberration. And he went further to say Nigeria is not a parliamentary system where such a system is practiced, and there is no provision for such in our statute books. For people that don't fully understand, what does a shadow government mean?
Yeah, it means they are not that they are running a parallel government too. They are not, but they are forming something that people will look up to. You understand? It's not a government per se. And there is something that I want to draw your attention to.
Okay.
You see, any administration that thrives on propaganda will always be very fearful. You understand? When you don't allow people to air their views, it means that you are not even sure of what you are doing. I remember this Akumi Adesina of African Development Bank. He said something about GDP, Nigeria, how palace it is. Do you know what this man that speaks for this administration, Onanuga, he said you are talking like Ubi. You know what I'm saying? So they took him up immediately. So nobody should, and a sensible administration should. When people talk, you go to the drawing board and find out what are they. This thing they are saying, is it true? That is leadership. Now, Utomi is floating shadow government. They are already. They say no, it can't. Why not find out why? Why is he floating it? Why is he calling on this? And look, the reps. For the first time, I'm hearing Ababu saying something that is. He said Nigerians have been stretched. Now, I wonder whether they will criticize Ababu also. Say, you are not saying the truth, but that is the reality. Any government that thrives on propaganda, you don't want people to talk to you. You don't want people to say how they are feeling. There is a problem. And let me tell you something, Tolu. How I wish that our president will sit up and embrace and do what he ought to do, because it's welcoming people defecting from one party to APC, now grabbing them left, right, and center will not solve Nigeria's problem. There is problem on the ground, and the more we turn our eyes away from the more they are increasing. Look at what even your lieutenants what they are saying. Look at what is going on in the country. Forget about politicking. That was why the man that asked a question, Mr. George, he said because there is always a timetable for politicking, but it's not that there is no timetable again. All we are hearing today is defection. This one, and they will come on and say people in Labour Party. Some of them are talking to us in APC. People here at the campaign. What is all this? This is a distraction, and yet the country. Thank God, Ababu has agreed that Nigeria is bleeding. The country is bleeding, Tolu. We don't need all this. Tinubu should face reality and face governance. He asked for this job. He said it is his turn. Is it your turn to be coming to give us excuses? No. It's your turn to fix the country if you know what it takes to fix the country. So that's the most important. We are not interested in who is defecting to where. Nigerians are not interested. Nigerians are interested in going to bed, sleep with their two eyes closed, have a food on their table, go out and come in peace and not in pieces. That's what they want. And I don't think they're asking for too much. Unless there's no government, but there is still government in power, and people want to be treated as if there is government.
All right, you can be a part of the conversation. 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, or 0915 333 4893, 0915 333 4893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show. Drop your comments on Facebook this morning at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Air Force urges Southwest-Southeast youths to enlist for national unity. The Nigerian Air Force has urged Nigerians, particularly youths from the Southwest and Southeast, to consider joining the nation's armed forces to promote national unity and inclusivity. Abdulafiz Okbaleye, commander of the 115 Operations Group, NAF Port Harcourt, made the appeal on Tuesday during a maiden open day event organized to mark the 2025 NAF Day celebration. Okbaleye expressed concern over the low representation of youths from the southern regions in the military, noting that their inclusion would enhance diversity and strengthen national cohesion. And according to him, the armed forces symbolize unity, which every Nigerian, irrespective of regional or ethnic background, has a role to play in the defense of the nation. This is the second time that, a call is coming for the southern youths to join the armed forces because there seems to be... Okay, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio. This is George.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Yes, you see, when we wake up every day, we start hearing this sad news of people being killed when we are not in the state of war. Look at this point you just raised again now. They are now begging our young ones to come and join the force. Nobody will join the force because my sister, my brother, if you want to know what is happening about this issue of insecurity, go to the barracks you have, the major barracks you have in Ibadan here. Go to Odogbo Barracks, go to Mokola Barracks, and find out. You will meet only women there. There are no men there again. There are no men there again. Most of them, some houses are having two people, father, son, the force who are dead. And their mother is there as a widow. What are we talking about? It's those who are getting the...
Oh, sorry.
Hello? Okay. Mr. George, you can call back.
There is something here to look at. Nigeria there's a problem in the land. Though. There's a big problem. You are fighting insurgency with obsolete weapons, and you want young people to go and join that kind of army. Who will join that kind of army? 2 weeks, this week on Monday, the army told Nigerians they arrested 4 informants, four of them, giving information to this terrorist within the rank and file. And you want people to go and join such army that was really infiltrated? Army that you are not sure whether the man you are going to war front is even with you or against you. Who will join that kind of army? They have bastardized everything. And that's why young people are running away. And you blame them.
Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Miriam from Odega.
Welcome to the show, Mariam.
Thank you. I believe that security is one of the major responsibilities of the government. But tackling it with kid close hands will only worsen things in the country. And it's even repeated that these so-called bandits and terrorists are even more weaponized than the Nigerian security agents. Isn't that a shame? See, with the news we heard today, it's so important that the federal government do things differently so that they will be able to find a lasting solution to this insurgency because it's getting worse on a daily basis. But I only pray to God to help them because we cannot really continue like this. That's not it.
All right. Thank you so much.
So, Tolu, if you have a brother, a young person, will you encourage him? You can't. Because if the military are well equipped, if all the money, trillions and trillions and trillions we are budgeting and budgeting and budgeting are actually used for what they were meant for. Nigerian soldiers are gallant soldiers. They know what to do. But they are shortchanged. And you see them complaining. Now, you want young people to come and join such army. that will go to war with nothing in their hands. Nobody will join. So it's not a question of telling the Southern, what are they going there to do? Before it was the Southeast. I thought it was only the Southeast because of the age-long marginalization of that as a region. I didn't know the thing has even come down to the Southwest. They can't join. When they hear stories of people made widows because their father went to war and never returned, when they hear of people going there with nothing in their hands to go and fight sophisticated people that have sophisticated weapons, and yet the state has been spending money upon money and nobody has been brought to book to give account. This money we gave to you, what did you buy with it? The Tucano jet we bought under Buhari, where is the Tucano jet? Where are all the arms and ammunition brought into this country to fight insurgency? All the trillions that are budgeted, where is the result of those trillions? That's the question. Young people are reading, they hear information, they read, they see these things, and you want them to go and join. Where will they go and join? Just tell me. Why will they go and join such an army? There's no way. There's nothing to encourage them to join. Because you see all these things we are talking about. Look, that's why I keep telling you, I wish that our president actually knows what is going on in this country. Honestly speaking, when a section of the country are turning their back on such important sector, there's a problem. Now you have some part of the country, they are not even in the military because they don't want to join. And you think if anything happen, people will. No! There must be inclusivity in whatever we are doing. National unity is not by joining army. There are things that will bring national unity. There are things that, like I keep saying, I'm looking forward to a Nigerian president who will not treat me because I'm Igbo. He will treat me as a Nigerian. I will vote for that person. But as far as you treat me as Igbo, I don't mean anything to you. There's no way you patriotism is not enforced. When people become patriotic, when the country loves them, that's why Americans will hear them, God bless America every day. How many Nigerians say God bless Nigeria? How many Nigerians? Because the country has failed a lot of people.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
West Radio.
Yes, welcome to the show.
I thought it's a personal line of West Radio. Okay, let me give you a quick one. Let me inform the GM.
Hello. All right. Please do well to call back. This is Perspectives Unlimited. So any call to these lines would be for to contribute to the show presently. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. You can still be a part of the conversation. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, or 0915-333-4893. Okay. Let's talk about UTME. Now, when that news broke, it caused a lot of, even during JAM this year was flagged with a lot of, discrepancies here and there. But in the Punch newspaper this morning, the minister said that the mass failure of UTME is a proof of anti-malpractice measures working.
It's not true. It's not because of, and you see, that's why we keep on being in a mess when we don't tell ourselves the truth. Look, you say anti-cheating measure. That is why there's a mass failure. No. Nigerian children are distracted. This thing we are talking of is everywhere. Tolu, Nigerian children are heavily distracted. Imagine, we talk about this on Monday. People that will come back, imagine asking children to go to examination centers by 6:30 in the morning. In this time of insecurity. Imagine children not eating well. When you don't eat, which book are you going to read? When you are reading self, will you even understand what you are reading? The economy has spoiled everything. You understand? So it's not about anti-cheating measure. No, it is a reflection of the decay in the country economically, socially, everywhere. People are suffering, and there's no way you expect. Look, when we were in school, when I was in secondary school, food was not our problem. You eat whatever you want to eat, not what is available. Nowadays, people don't even what is available self is not even enough to go around, and you expect such children to go and sit down and write Some of them will come back home. There's no power even to study their book. Some of them, their parents can even come home around 11 or 12 because daddy and mommy are out looking for what to bring to the children, and nobody is monitoring them. And you say that it is a reflection of what is going on in the country. It's not because of anti-cheating measure put in place by JAMB. No, I disagree. And anyway they call me, I will tell them that it is a lie. Children failed because they are distracted. They are hungry. They don't even know where the next meal will come from. Well, how will such a child read? Now, is it anti-cheating measure that our researchers are not making any research? Because there's no money. The government is not funding research in Nigeria. So where will they get money to? Tomorrow you come and say, because... no. There is a problem in the land. This hunger, this mass poverty, this disillusionment all everywhere will not allow children to sit down and study their books. You don't study books when you are hungry. You don't study books when you are harassed. Look at, in the afternoon, go to the main road and see children that are going home. Some of them that are trekking home because they cannot afford money to enter Okada or Kakamarua. And when they get back home, some of them will carry something to go and sell for their parents because their parents are out of jobs. And you will expect that child to come home and read. And the Minister of Education is saying that the is a failure. He has failed. It's not anti-measure, anti-cheating measure, anything. The children the children are dehumanized already. So they can't study under that kind of condition. That's why we have mass failure. It's not because of whatever measure they put in place. It's a lie.
0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, or 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show. And you can drop your comments on Facebook this morning at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Matthias from Ojo calling back again.
Okay.
The issue of mass failure in Jan.
Welcome back.
Thank you. That issue of mass failure, you don't blame the children. You don't blame them. Because I could remember around 2014, 2012, 2011, when we read them on paper. We studied very well. The situation in the country was not like this. It was not like this. You're not comfortable. How will you read?
Hello.
I could remember that time when you go to school, come back, at least you have food to eat. You go to school today, you come back, there's no food at home to eat. You'll be angry. You don't even have time to go and read your book. That's the hunger in the country is the one that caused the mass failure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Matthias from Ojo. Okay, on Facebook, Suleiman Sharif says, regarding the news of over 1.5 million candidates scoring less than 200 in 2025 UTME, I'm not surprised. Check those students that failed. Most of them are TikTok ambassadors. They use their reading time to go on TikTok live. They use their reading hours to, okay, I won't be able to take that, to dance on TikTok. Okay, that's the best way to put it. And lastly, lack of parental control also contributed to their failure. And also in another comment, it says, Nigeria continues to grapple with deep-rooted security challenges, including insurgency and banditry. Nigeria's borders is very porous and is an open gateway for individuals with dangerous intentions. Without proper monitoring, funds allocated to the armed forces may be misused. It is time for Mr. President to prioritize the procurement of modern combat equipment and improved intelligence support to the frontline troops. All right, thank you very much, Suleiman Sharif. Olasinde Abib Kamadupe says, well done from Okpeyemi area, Gbagi in Ibadan. Thank you so much. That is also Olasinde Abib Kamadupe. It's time for us to go.
Unfortunately, I don't see this administration doing anything to tackle insecurity holistically. I don't see it. It's just these platitudes we're going to be hearing. I don't think Buhari had the opportunity of doing something, but because of his myopic and primitive ideology, he didn't do anything. And I don't see this administration doing anything. I don't. It's just these stories we'll be hearing.
Now that Nigerians are, just as the Senate President said, stretched.
Nigerians have been talking now. Nigerians have been saying something. It depends on the president to do the needful. And I don't think he will do it. Not that he doesn't have the means to do it. He will not do it. And if he does it, good for our country. After all of us, we want to be secured. But the thing is that if he prioritizes it, he will do it. But if he does not prioritize it, he will not do it. And security of lives should be number one. Because that is why we have government. May God save Nigeria.
Amen. All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show this morning. Thank you to everyone who has called in, sent messages, and also watched on Facebook. Tomorrow, Perspectives Unlimited returns at exactly 6:30 a.m. As I would always say, wherever you find yourself, continue to ensure that whatever it is that you do, you put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. I am Toluwaleke Alli.
Listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you. Not just another radio station. Wells